We made 3 day trips out from Reykjavik, first to the large peninsula north of the city. The approach to this beach is a bit of a challenge. The area is a favorite hangout for seals during June and July. With our visit being in August, only a few stragglers were left. Once a trading post was located here, but only the church, which dates back to 1850, remains. Here is a rather fanciful depiction of a local man who became a legend and who has his own saga. A huge man in life, he was a hermit who wandered the peninsula, only appearing occasionally to help those in need. Leaving the statue behind, we walked along the coast to the next village. With a natural harbor, this used to be a fishing village. Today, tourism is the main industry. We continued around the peninsula and joined many more gorgeous vistas. One stop was at this black sand beach. The sand is actually lava pearls. Want to be a fisherman? You need to prove your strength by lifting the medium-sized stone onto a platform. Rusted metal chunks are all that is left of a fishing trawler that washed ashore in 1948. If you are a Game of Thrones fan, you may recognize this mountain along with its nearby stream and waterfall. This day was spent on the south coast, starting with a stop at this fishing river where salmon and sea trout can be caught. This is Iceland's longest river at over 140 miles, and its falls are the largest in the country by volume of water. Two major waterfalls were up next, starting with a smaller one. Then a short walk took us to its much taller neighbor. This flower is a sedge that grows in marshes, bogs, and roadside dishes all along the island. Those with proper gear, or who do not mind getting wet, can walk around the back of the falls. Down the road a bit was our next waterfall. Iceland has a lot of waterfalls. Here we were able to get a different perspective on a fall by climbing up some 500 steps, about 200 feet, to the top where the river's water makes its plunge, and were rewarded with a magnificent vista. More water, both liquid and frozen. 15 to 20 years ago, one didn't need to walk to get to the glacier. It reached the parking lot. Adventurous visitors can hike on the glacier. Guides are mandatory. A second adventure is to go kayaking in the Meltwater Lagoon. For us, one of the major highlights of the day was getting to see the puffins. We were especially lucky as it was the end of their seasonal visit to Iceland. The beach below the Puffin's Roost was our last stop of the day. The volcanic rock columns and cave were most interesting. Here, the pebbles making the beach were almost small enough to justify being called sand. Being contrarians, we did the Golden Circle last, and it worked well as the finale of our visit. After a bit of a drive, we started with Thingvellir. Important as one can see across and walk along the ever-widening separation of the North American and the Eurasian tectonic plates. Plus, this is where, about 1,000 years ago, Icelanders first met to govern themselves, the All-Thing. Earlier church buildings dated back hundreds of years. The house, now used for ceremonies, was first the priest's residence. This lake has many hot springs. Traditional sweet rye bread is baked in the hot sands along the shore. While the original geyser, and the source of the word, is mostly dormant, there are others that give satisfying displays. The first section of the falls is a 35-foot drop, and the second is 70 feet. On the way back, we made 3 stops. First, to visit some Icelandic horses. All horses here are purebred, and if they are taken off island, are not allowed back in order to preserve the line. Formed some 6,500 years ago when a volcanic cone collapsed, this crater is a most impressive sight. The crater is about 180 feet deep to the water, which averages some 34 feet in depth. Our last stop was a most relaxing finish to both the day and our trip. A couple of hours soaking in one of Iceland's many thermal baths.